So let's get started, shall we? Good evening. My name is Sam Boudreau, and I'll be your MC tonight. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming out here tonight. It's with great pride that Bellas Free Academy is able to host its 14th annual school-wide Poetry Out Loud competition. Schools from around Vermont send competitors to the state tournament every year, and BFA has consistently sent gifted young people to the state competition every year, and this year is obviously no exception. The students you will hear this evening are to be commended for taking time out of their already busy schedules to commit to learning, ingesting, ruminating, and personifying the poems that they will recite for our enjoyment this evening. And maybe you're a parent who's suffered through this, and if you are, thank you for being here and supporting your student. These students have already won competitions at the classroom level and have worked diligently on 2 poems that they will perform tonight. Each of them is a gifted young scholar and deserves great praise for their participation at this school level competition. The classroom winners did attend a workshop with visiting artist Gina Stevenson 2 weeks ago. So they have received some feedback. The students competing this evening represent BFA's best. After 2 rounds of poems, our school winner will be crowned, and then they will move on to compete at the state level at the Barry Opera House in hopes of making it to the state finals, which will take place at the Flynn Theater this year. Students will receive scores in 6 categories that include physical presence, voice and articulation, appropriateness of dramatization, evidence of understanding, accuracy, and overall performance. Students are allowed the assistance of a prompter if needed, so it is imperative that the audience remains silent during each recitation if the reciter has seemingly forgotten the poem. I'd like to now introduce the judges for this evening's competition. They include teachers Eric Bushy, Lydia Batten, Emily Schwartz, and Jim Hill. Our accuracy judge tonight is Mary Ellen Torville, and our prompter this evening is Nate Archambault. Our score tallier is Eric Telfer, and I would love it if we could all give a little applause for our teachers tonight, taking time out of their nights. Thank you so much. And now it is with great pleasure on behalf of the entire BFA English department that we begin this evening's competition. First up this evening is Rebecca Dahmer.
Hunger for Something by Chase Twitchell. Sometimes I long to be the woodpile, cut apart trees soon to be smoke, or even the smoke itself, sinewy ghost of ash and air, going wherever I want to, at least for a while. Neither inside nor out, neither lost nor home, no longer a shape or a name. I'd pass through all the broken windows of the world. It's not a wish for consciousness to end. It's not the appetite an army has for its own emptying heart, but a hunger to stand now and then alone on the death grounds where the dogs of the self are feeding.
When I Heard the Learned Astronomer by Walt Whitman. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts, the diagrams, to add, divide, and measure them, when I, sitting, heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars.
The Glories of Our Blood and State, written by James Shirley. The glories of our blood and state are shadows, not substantial things. There is no armor against fate. Death lays his icy hand on kings. Scepter and crown must tumble down, and the dust be equal made with the poor, crooked scythe and spade. Some men with swords may reap the field and plant fresh laurels where they kill, but their strong nerves at last must yield. They tame but one another still. Early or late, they stoop to fate and must give up their murmuring breath when they, pale captives, creep to death. The garlands wither on your brow, then boast no more your mighty deeds. Upon death's purple altar now, see where the victor victim bleeds. Your heads must come to the cold tomb. Only the actions of the just smell sweet and blossom in their dust.
Dirge Without Music by Edna St. Vincent Millay. I am not resigned to the shutting away of loving hearts into the hard ground. So it is, and so it will be, for so it has been, time out of mind. Into the darkness they go, wise and lovely, crowned with lilies and with laurel they go, but I'm not resigned. Lovers and thinkers, into the earth with you. Be one with the dull, the indiscriminate dust, a fragment of what you felt, of what you knew. A formula, a phrase remains, but the best is lost. The answer, quick and keen, the honest look, the laughter, the love, they are gone. They are gone to feed the roses. Elegant and curled is the blossom. Fragrant is the blossom. I know, but I do not approve. More precious was the light in your eyes than all the roses in the world. Down, down, down into the darkness of the grave. Gently they go. The beautiful, the tender, the kind. Quietly they go. The intelligent, the witty, the brave. I know, but I do not approve, and I am not resigned.
The Conqueror Worm by Edgar Allan Poe. Lo, 'tis a gala night within the lonesome latter years. An angel throng, bewinged, bedight, in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a theater to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes in the form of God on high mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they who come and go, at bidding of vast formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings, invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chase forevermore by crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth in to the self-same spot, and much of madness and more of sin and horror the soul of the plot. But see, amid the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that rise from out the scenic solitude. It rise with mortal pangs, the mimes become its food, and seraphs sob at vermin fangs, in human gore imbued. Out are the lights, out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels, all pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm that the play is the tragedy, man, and its hero, the conqueror worm.
The World is About to End and My Grandparents Are in Love by Kara Jackson. Still, living like they orbit one another. My grandfather, the planet, and Grandma, his moon assigned by some gravitational pull. They have loved long enough for a working man to retire. Grandma says she's not tired. She wears her husband like a coat that survives every season, talks about him the way my parents talk about vinyl, the subject salvaged by the tent of their tongues. Grandma returns to her love like a hymn, marks it with a color. When the world ends, will it suck the earth of all its love? Will I go taking somebody's hand, my skin becoming their skin? The digital age is taking away our winters. And I'm afraid the sun is my soulmate. That waste waits for a wet kiss. Carbon calls me pretty, and I think death is a good first date. I hope when the world ends, it leaves them be. Spares Grandpa and his game, Grandma spinning corn into weight, the two of them reeling into Western theme songs, the TV louder than whatever's coming.
The Farmer by W.D. Earhart. Each day I go into the fields to see what is growing and what remains to be done. It is always the same thing. Nothing is growing. Everything needs to be done. Plow, harrow, disc, water, pray till my bones ache and hands rub, blood raw, with honest labor. All that grows is the slow, intransigent intensity of need. But I don't complain, except to passers-by who ask me why I work such barren earth. They would not understand me if I stooped to lift a rock and hold it like a child, or laughed, or told them it is their poverty I labor to relieve. For them, I complain. A farmer of dreams knows how to pretend. A farmer of dreams knows what it means to be patient. Each day, I go into the fields.
After the Winter by Claude McKay. Some day, when trees have shed their leaves, and against the morning's white, and the shivering birds beneath the eaves have sheltered for the night, we'll turn our faces southward, love, toward the summer isle, where bamboos shire the shafted grove and wide-mouthed orchids smile, and we will seek the quiet hill where towers the cotton tree, and leaps the laughing crystal rill, and works the droning bee. And we will build a cottage there, beside an open glade, with black-ribbed bluebells blowing near, and ferns that never fade.
Isabella Guarino.
Dirge Without Music by Edna St. Vincent Millay. I am not resigned to the shutting away of loving hearts in the hard ground. So it is, and so it will be, for so it has been, time out of mind. Into the darkness they go, the wise and the lovely, crowned with lilies and with laurel they go. But I am not resigned. Lovers and thinkers into the earth with you, be one with the dull, the indiscriminate dust. A fragment of what you felt, of what you knew, a formula, a phrase remains, but the best is lost. The answer is quick and keen, the honest look, the laughter, the love, they are gone. They are gone to feed the roses. Elegant and curled is the blossom. Fragrant is the blossom. I know, but I do not approve. More precious was the light in your eyes than all the roses in the world. Down, 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 into the darkness of the grave. Gently they go, the beautiful, the tender, the kind. Quietly they go, the intelligent, the witty, the brave. I know, but I do not approve, and I am not resigned.
Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
All This and More by Mary Carr. The Devil's Tour of Hell did not include a factory line where molten lead spilled into mouths held wide. No electric drill spiraling screws into hands and feet, nor giant pliers to lower you into simmering vats. Instead, a circle of light opened on your stuffed armchair, whose chintz orchids did not boil and change, and the devil adjusted your new spiked antennae almost delicately, with claws curled and lacquered black, before he spread his leather wings to leap into the acid green sky. So, your head became a TV hull, a gargoyle mirror. Your doppelganger, sloppy at the mouth and swollen at the joints, enacted your days in sinuous, slow motion, your lines delivered with a mocking sneer. Sometimes the frame froze, reversed, began again. The red eyes of a friend you cursed. Your girl child cowered behind the drapes. Parents alive again and puzzled by this new form. That's why you clawed your way back to this life.
After Apple Picking by Robert Frost. My long, two-pointed ladder sticking through a tree toward heaven still. And there's a barrel that I didn't fill beside it, and there may be 2 or 3 apples I didn't pick upon some bough. But I am done with apple picking now. Essence of winter sleep is on the night. The scent of apples, I am drowsing off. I cannot rub the strangeness from my sight I got from looking through a pane of glass I skimmed this morning from the drinking trough and held against the world of hoary grass. It melted, and I let it fall and break. But I was well upon my way to sleep before it fell, and I could tell what form my dreaming was about to take. Magnified apples appear and disappear, stem end and blossom end, and every fleck of russet showing clear. My instep arch not only keeps the ache, it keeps the pressure of a ladder round. Line? What? I feel the ladder sway as the boughs bend, and I keep hearing from the cellar bin the rumbling sound of load on load of apples coming in. Line? For I have had too much of apple picking. I myself am overtired of the great harvest I myself desired. There were 10,000 fruit to touch, cherish in hand, lift down and not let fall. For all that struck the earth, no matter if not bruised or spiked by stubble, went surely to the cider apple heap, as of no worth. One can see what will trouble this sleep of mine, whatever sleep it is. Were he not gone, the woodchuck could say whether it's like his long sleep, as I describe its coming on, or just some human sleep.
Invictus, written by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Abandoned Farmhouse by Ted Kuzer. He was a big man, says the size of his shoes on a pile of broken dishes by the house. A tall man, too, says the length of the bed in an upstairs room. And a good, God-fearing man, says the Bible with the broken back on the floor below the window, dusty with sun. But not a man for farming, say the fields cluttered with boulders and the leaky barn. A woman lived with him, says the bedroom wall papered with lilacs and the kitchen shelves covered with oilcloth. And they had a child, says the sandbox made from a tractor tire. Money was scarce, say the jars of plum preserves and canned tomatoes sealed in the cellar hole. And the winter's cold, say the rags in the window frames. It was lonely here, says the narrow country road. Something went wrong, says the empty house in the weed-choked yard. Stones in the fields say he was not a farmer. The still sealed jars in the cellar say she left in a nervous haste And the child? Its toys strewn in the yard like branches after a storm. A rubber cow, a rusty tractor with a broken plow, a doll in overalls. Something went wrong, they say.
Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet when far away an interrupted cry came over houses from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night.
I am offering this poem by Jimmy Santiago Baca. I am offering this poem to you, since I have nothing else to give. Keep it, like a warm coat when winter comes to cover you, or like a pair of thick socks the cold cannot bite through. I love you. I have nothing else to give you, so it is a pot full of yellow corn to warm your belly in the winter. It is a scarf for your head, to wear over your hair, to tie up around your face. I love you. Keep it. Treasure this as you would if you were lost, needing direction in the wilderness life becomes when mature. And in the corner of your drawer, tucked away like a cabin or hogan in dense trees, come knocking, and I will answer, give you directions, and let you warm yourself by this fire, rest by this fire, and make you feel safe. I love you. It's all I have to give, and all anyone needs to live, and to go on living inside. When the world outside no longer cares if you live or die, remember, I love you.
Being by Tanya Winder. Wake up, greet the sun, and pray. Burn cedar, sweet grass, sage, sacred herbs, to honor the lives we've been given, for we have been gifted these ways since the beginning of time. Remember, when you step into the arena of your life, think about those who stand beside you, next to, and with you. Your ancestors are always in your corner, along with your people. When we enter this world, we are born hungry. Our spirits long for us to live out our traditions that have been passed down for generations. Prayer, ceremony, dance, language, our ways of being. Never forget you were put on this earth for a reason. Honor your ancestors. Be a good relative.
Miss You would like to grab that chilled tofu we love by Gabrielle Calvacaresi. Do not care if you bring only your light body. Would just be so happy to sit at the table and talk about the menu. Miss You. Wish we could bet which chilies they'll put on the cubes of tofu. Our favorite. Sometimes green, sometimes red. Roasted, we always thought, but so cold and fresh. How did they do it? Wish you could be here to talk about it like it was so important. Wish you could. Watched you on the screens as I was walking, as I was cooking. Wish you could get out of the hospital. Can't bring myself to order our dish and eat it in the car. Miss you laughing. Miss you coming in from the cold or one too many meetings, laughing. I'll order already. I'll order 7 helpings, some dumplings, those cold yam noodles you like. You can come in your light body or skeleton or be invisible. I don't even care. Know you have a long way to travel. No, I don't know if it's long at all. Wish you could tell me what you're reading, if you're reading. Miss you. I'm at the table in the back.
To the Oppressors by Polly Murray. Now you are strong, and we are but grapes aching with ripeness. Crush us. Squeeze from us all the brave life contained in these full skins. But ours is a subtle strength, potent with centuries of yearning, of being kegged and shut away in dark, forgotten places. We shall endure to steal your senses in the lonely twilight of your winter's grief.
The Man He Killed by Thomas Hardy. Had he and I but met by some old ancient inn, we should have sat us down to wet right many a nipperkin. But ranged as infantry, and staring face to face, I shot at him as he at me, and killed him in his place. I shot him dead because he was my foe. My foe, of course he was, that's clear enough. Although he thought he'd list perhaps, offhand like, just as I was out of work, had sold his traps, no other reason why. Yes, quaint and curious war is. You shoot a fellow down. You treat if met where any bar is, or help to half a crown.
Alrighty, so first and foremost, I just want to say I've seen a lot of great poetry and I've seen a lot of really bad poetry, and I've heard a lot of really bad poetry. And tonight was for sure not one of those nights. So if we could please give all of our poets a round of applause. Yeah. It was an absolutely excellent evening. I think like 80% of the population would rather die than to stand up here and recite. So, you know, you're already ahead of the game, folks. So what's going to happen is I'm going to announce the third place winner, the second place winner, and then the first place winner. I do want to remind the audience and our competitors that if the first place winner cannot make it to the state competition at the Barry Opera House, then the second place winner will be there in their stead. So that is what will happen. Alrighty here. So in third place, and it does come with a gift from the department, so thank your local English teacher. They've committed to that. So in third place, we have Robbie Gilding. Alrighty, and in second place, we have Owen Scott. Alrighty, do we want a little bit of a drum roll for the first place? Yeah, nice. That's great. All right, and good, great. In first place, this year's BFA Poetry Out Loud champion for the school is Grace Bruley. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. If you want a picture up here with your reciter, you're more than welcome to do that. But congratulations to all of our poets, all of our students. You know, it was a wonderful, wonderful evening. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. You want a picture with everybody?